Hey you guys, want to jump on and talk to you about email lists, and I'm going to show you my email list sign up. So if you didn't know, an email list is when you've got a business, an organization, a community, and you're collecting people's emails to stay in contact with them, to build up the community, to share behind the scenes, to ultimately sell your products or services to them. I mean, there's so much that you can do with your email list. But the first thing I've got to ask you, if you have your own small business, do you have an email list? If the answer is no, then that's one of the first things you need to get started on. Create that email list. A super simple way to put it is that you own, for lack of a better term, your email list. Your social media followers, they can come and go. You can be kicked off your social media platform. You can lose it. You can be hacked, stolen. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that can happen. You can be canceled. And then what are you going to do? Well, if you've got a good email list, you can email everyone out. Hey, I'm over here now. Hey, guess what? I may not be on this platform anymore, but you can still get this service or this product from me. So there are a lot of reasons of why you should have one, but I think that's enough to say you should definitely have one. It is so worth it. And then you should be emailing them regularly to stay in contact. Here at Fisher Philbrick, what I'm doing is I have it built into a whole system and process called an inside member. And when you sign up, you are joining the inside and you become that inside member, because it was a big shift in my own thinking when I realized, okay, this is not just an email list. This is an opportunity for you, maybe you want to start or build your own business, to join us on the inside of this business to see what I'm working on, what we can offer you as far as what we've got going, and really just come along with this journey to help fulfill our mission of helping you start and build your own business. So I think that is a good intro. And now I'll show you two different pages, because the first page I came out with in February, it is now April, and it kind of flopped. It didn't go so well, and I was so excited about that. So what did I do? I came out with a second one that I'm just about to launch now. So here we go. Let's jump right into it. All right, you guys. So first thing we got to do is go into my card.co account, and I actually have an affiliate link for you. It is in the description of this video, where you can sign up and get your first site for free, and then it's only if you pay for an account, in which I get a small kickback. So don't worry, but I've used this for so many different things. Look, my personal one, the coffee business I failed, the Remote Workers Club, which was the community for that, small business community, ebook, podcast application, and then finally, well, this is new and upcoming. So I'm not going to talk about that in this video, but I will have a video coming up. So subscribe to this channel so you can get that when it comes out. But I talk about the email list. Let's go ahead and look at this one. So I'm actually showing you what it looks like when I am building it. So kind of a promo for a card, because it is really cool. It's basically a landing page website, but super simple and easy. And this is what I had going for the inside member. Basically, you'll see I listed out everything that you get. In the first version, I only started with like the podcast resources, and then my mentor had suggested adding a little more detail, so I added that. And then I was like, it's looks like too much, so then I added the emojis, and I feel like that really brought everything together. Basically, then you add in your information here, and you are subscribed, and then I'll show you what you get. So this button will be linked to then send them to this #welcome. And then once they're on the inside, they'll have the direct link for the website to apply. And then they would also get the resources. And then I have the rest of your member journey continues via email. And so if I bring that up right now, you'll see it looks pretty cool, looks nice. But the problem I had was people were not joining this. And there can be a lot of different reasons why, but I think the main thing is there is not a lot of credibility with Fisher Philbrick yet. Not a lot of people know about us, what I'm doing with this business and building it up. And a lot of people are just hesitant to jump into something like that, even if they see all of this. It's missing a lot of the call to action, where when I first built this, I'm like, of course everyone's going to want to join this. Why not? Like, look at all this cool stuff that you can get. But it turns out people were not interested. So I decided I needed to make a change. And that is something that you should always take into account when it comes to your own business. If something is not working, you guys, don't just keep on doing it. You need to go and make some changes. So, watching a YouTube show that my mentor is on really gave me this idea of thinking of it more as a sales page and showing and kind of giving them a walkthrough of why. Like, why would you want to join this? So I took that as well as what I learned from writing the welcome series for this same email list. It was like, okay, let's do narrative, first person, and really take them on a journey to show like, okay, you can't just sign up. Like, if you've heard me talking about it, which you will have if you listen to any of our content, I'm always like, join us on the inside, become an inside member. Well, that is what this is. But if you want to know a little bit more, then yeah, let's jump into it. It's not easy. And then I know firsthand. And so it's sharing a lot of my own story, which I do share in the welcome series. But this is just giving a glance at like, hey, guess what? It's not easy. And I couldn't even get a job. And yet I'm here and building this up. But kind of relating, like, have you felt any of this? Which, yeah, probably you have if you are a small business owner or you want to be. But then kind of sharing like, okay, why am I here with the business? Of course, another call to action, jump on into it, but then really getting into more of the background. So it started out more personal. Here's the failures that I've had and how it feels to be like that, and kind of being like, yeah, you know what? It's hard, it's not easy, but we're here and we can help you out. And then taking a bit of a step backwards, giving some more information on Fisher Philbrick and what that is, and knowing that like just because it's difficult doesn't mean it's not impossible. Here's the pain points that a lot of people have. So that's part of a sales page, listing what I've seen when I do come across tons of people that want to do it. They usually get caught up with these things. They don't know how to do it. Building their business up is tricky. Making sales, finding new customers, growing social media. That alone, these are terrible. Awful. And then, of course, budget restraints. But turning it around, guess what? I've talked to over 40 small business owners, which, did you guys know that? I have a link for the podcast in the description. So go through and listen to these people because they are some awesome business owners that we can all learn from, we can look up to. But just saying like, guess what? These people were in my shoes, they're in your shoes. We're all have, these different stories. We all have these different stories, these journeys that we're on, but you can still go ahead and do that. So another place to sign up. But then we get to kind of what this one was talking about is, all the goodies that you get. But then I do go through that. So here's a few ways of how we can help you out just by you signing up. Hooray. And then here's, okay, of course, maybe that gets you excited. You're like, yes, let's go. But then this is a new thing that you usually do with service or products that you're selling. And I'm not really selling anything, but James, who was on the podcast, 3 Ninjas Productions, woo, he had left a really nice review. And so Chris, he also, which I think he's watching, hey Chris, how's it going? But on a LinkedIn post, he had posted a review and I had screenshot that because I'm like, wow, this is so nice. I'm going to save it for the future. And so then I asked people, hey, if you've gone through my business, done anything with our resources, been on the podcast, like really anything, can you leave a review? And so I did get these 3 reviews from that. And I think the coolest thing is that I'm giving them credit, but I'm also, you see what I'm doing? Promo for them of like, hey, Chris, you want to check out his stuff? Sweet. His business there, James' business there, Bill's business, Casey's, Phillips, everything there. So while it is helping me and hopefully helping the viewer watching it, it's also giving them a chance to be like, I wonder what PAB management is. Let's check it out. And Philip has been on the podcast. He's been on the YouTube show. You got to know him. But all these people are great ones that you should check out. But that is something new that I added too. And I think that is where I'm starting to get some of the credibility of like, okay, Michael, you are having people come through and you're not just running in circles, getting nothing done. It's like, it's cool to see I am having an impact with this business. And then finally, Okay, guys, we're at the end. It's up to you. Where do you want to be headed in your life? Are you ready to go forward? Let's do it. Let us be those people for you, which sounds a little cheesy, but it's also, I think, very impactful. And then once at any moment when they submit this through, then they will be brought to the welcome page. So this is the next thing you would see. Basically, a good habit is to let them know the email it's going to be coming from, because you don't want it to go into spam. And if it does go into spam, you need them to mark it as a regular email that you do want to see. Then they click the button to get their deliverables, and then that will bring them to this page. And I was torn because the other one, as you remember, I give them these two things. But what if someone really is just signing up because they want the book or they want that call with me? I also want to make it somewhat easy for them to get those. So I mentioned, like, in the email welcome series you're going to get, I talked through this all, and it really should be done in that way because I think it's more entertaining, more worthwhile, and really getting context in anything is really helpful. But if you really want to jump into it, you can do that, and then just reminding them again, it's coming from here, and that I'm going to see them in their email box, because then 4 days I talk back and forth with them, sharing them my own story, which you get some of it here, but I share a lot more. And I also have YouTube videos at the end of each of those emails. So if you are reading closely, if you actually read the whole thing, then that's something I'm doing at the end of each email, is that, yep, I'm going to reward you with something. So for this, it is video so that you can get to know me a little bit better. And then for my newsletters, yep, those ones, I am adding some sort of like fun fact at the end of it. So if you do sign up for this, that is what you can be looking for. And right now I do have this one, .card.co. So a test site, it's always good because this subdomain is going to be this one. But I want to have them live so I can see them and really see, like, what does it look like when you come onto it as a guest? Those turned yellow. I told it to turn yellow. But that's kind of an idea that you can see. But I think the one important thing to do is to look at it mobilely in anything you create, because people are most likely going to find your links on their phone. So you want to make sure that it all comes across fairly well on the cell phone, the mobile side of things, because that's how people are going to be looking at it. So most times I'm actually creating and designing things from this view, because this view is much different. And the one thing I will say, so I know, just to close this out, because we're going along because I like to talk, but I hope this is helpful because it is really interesting, especially if you want to do one of your own sites similar to this. But it's a lot to read, but at the same time, have you ever come across a page where you actually are really interested in what's being written about? It grabs your interest, and then all of a sudden you just want to dive into it. Like, you read a good book, you find something, a service or product, and you're like, I want to learn more. Well, this is that same idea. So will this be interesting to everyone? No, it's not supposed to be, because I'm looking for a very specific person and persons. But for those of you that are interested, even in just knowing, like, failed business owner, wait, what? How did you become that? Well, in the emails I talk all about it, but just seeing my own struggles, I think that is really important. And that's something that I always want to share within this business of, we talk with small business owners and we share their ups and downs, and they get to talk about that. And guess what? I do the same thing. And yeah, it's very like, look at this. Oh, you can't do anything right. But that's how I feel on any given day. You're not always going to be on the up. You're going to have a lot of downs. But I would say that I don't actually know how this one is going to do, because it is not currently live yet. I'm actually, like, as this is closing this video, I'm going to be setting it live. So that is exciting, but I'm going to test and see, and I can let you guys know. So follow along, go ahead, subscribe, because I do think this will have a better impact, mostly just showing people what it is, why we are here, my own story, really connecting, giving that first person narrative. I think that is what is needed these days, because anyone can say, look at all this junk you're going to get if you sign up. And do I think it's junk? No. I worked really hard on all of this and, like, putting this together was a lot of work, you guys. And even now I look at it, I'm like, Michael, this looks so simple and so easy, because this was a lot of work. Even just seeing here, like these are all different text boxes that you have to do. You have to format it all, going back and forth from the mobile to then publishing it to then looking on my phone. So it's a lot of work, but it's well worth it. And I learned something new from each of these. So definitely check out the comments and descriptions to get that affiliate link so that you can get started. It's so much fun creating with card.co, and I hope this was helpful to give you an inside look. Definitely sign up, join us on the inside so that you can get more of this. And we're sending out weekly newsletters with awesome, fun stories as well. So you can't be missing out on anything because there's a lot coming.